Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled parents, where a crazy lady accuses OP of kidnapping their stepson, and then tries to kidnap said stepson. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts down below. Now, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Entitled Mom and the Octopus. This happened a week ago. I'm still angry, but part of me hopes I can laugh about it soon. For context, my son is 15 months old and loves stuffed animals. His favorite is a soft, light pink octopus we call Otto. It's the closest thing to the word octopus he's been able to say so far. We got it for him at a bookstore while on vacation in Europe last July. He spotted Otto at the store himself and immediately reached for it. To this day, my son is obsessed with Otto. He takes it almost everywhere and gets upset if we try to take it from him. And he loves playing with its tentacles before going to sleep. We're extra protective of Otto due to the fact that it was made by a company from the country we bought it in. I'm pretty sure it can be found online, but we've never seen it in any local stores. Anyway, I had to run some errands at the mall last Friday. My fiancé was busy and our eldest was at a friend's house, so I took the baby with me, Otto and all. When I was done, I still had some time left before needing to leave, so I took my son to the toy store. I spent a few minutes showing my son some toys before we went to see some stuffed animals. I took him off the stroller and he instantly waddled to the nearest shelf. He handed me Otto to pick up another plushie, so I put it in the stroller's storage basket. We played with the stuffed animals for about 5 minutes before he started getting tired. I put him back in the stroller and reached under the seat, only to realize Otto was missing. My son noticed it as soon as my hand was in his view again, and he started crying loudly, so I picked him up. I wasn't looking forward to ordering another octopus online, so I started going over the shelf again, hoping to find it among the stuffed animals. An employee who had heard my son crying came up to me to ask if I needed help. I explained the situation and described Otto, and she said there was a lady at the checkout counter trying to buy a pink octopus. I went to the counter, still holding my son. A woman in her mid-30s, the entitled mom of the story, was there with her daughter about 5 years old. I vaguely remember seeing them when I entered the store. She was arguing with the cashier about something she was trying to buy. I got closer, and sure enough, the cashier was holding Otto, trying to explain to EM that it wasn't one of their products. It didn't have a tag on it, and couldn't be identified by the store, so they couldn't sell it to her. Entitled Mom was telling her she was lying, as her daughter had picked it up from the soft toy section herself. I didn't think EM was trying to steal Otto, I figured. The kid's 5, she probably just picked it up by mistake. I'm a father myself, so I try not to expect the worst from other parents. I quickly approach the cashier and politely say, "Hi, excuse me, I think there's been a mistake. That's my son's toy. He bought it to the store with him." My entitled mom did not like that, and she told the cashier,
"No, he's lying. It's pink. It's a girl's toy. My daughter picked it up and I'm buying it."
And this went on for about 2 minutes. The cashier seemed eager to just give me Otto, but entitled mom wasn't having it. She was calling me a liar and a thief, telling the cashier I had no proof the octopus was mine. Her daughter wanted it and she had seen it first. I eventually gave up on trying to be the bigger person. I pulled out the phone and showed them both pictures of my son with Otto that dated a few months back. I'm still not quite sure why I didn't do that sooner, but I do like to watch the world burn sometimes. However, entitled mom still didn't believe me, or at least claimed not to. So I told the cashier to look for a zigzaggy seam. I don't know what it's actually called, on the base of one of its tentacles. About 4 months ago, my eldest accidentally ripped Otto while playing with the baby. My fiancée stitched it back together, but she's not a great seamstress. Her words, not mine. So the part she fixed is a little noticeable. And because Otto was in the cashier's hands when I got there was no way I'd know that unless it was my son's. The cashier found the seam and finally gave me Otto. Entitled Mother's daughter was crying, and she tried to argue a little more, but it didn't work. I thanked the cashier, gave the octopus back to my still sniffling child, and quickly left the store. Oh, how I wish this was the end. Not 2 minutes later, as I was putting my son back in the stroller, I felt someone pulling at my shirt. I turned around and there was EM's 5-year-old daughter. She was still sobbing, and her mom was standing about 4 feet away from us. The little girl started with, "Mister, I want that blushie. My mommy said you have to give it to me." And I know better than to talk to a stranger's child, so I took a deep breath, looked over at EM and said, "Ma'am, please stop. I'm not giving it away. Not to you, not to anyone." And the kid yelled for her mother, and Entitled Mom was fuming at this point. She walked in my direction and snapped at me.
"What kind of monster are you? How dare you talk to my daughter like that?"
"This is my son's favorite toy. Your daughter might have picked it up by mistake, but that doesn't make you entitled to it."
"That's a girl's toy. Your son is a boy. He probably hates it. So go back in the store and get him a boy's toy. Give my daughter the octopus."
After about a minute of her calling me a bad father, and me mostly ignoring her, EM tried to shove her hand into the stroller to grab the toy from my son's hands. I acted quickly and stuck my arm out, blocking her. I then said to her, "If you so much look at my son again, I'm calling security." EM looked like I'd slapped her, but I think she got the message. She huffed, grabbed her daughter by the arm, and walked away, and I practically ran to the parking lot, if not for the stroller slowing me down. I told my fiancée about what happened when I got home, and she got angry, but we did manage to make a few jokes about Entitled Mom's behavior. My son got Otto back unharmed, and thankfully will not remember this. I sincerely hope Entitled Mom's daughter got some other stuffed animal, and I'd be extra glad if it was an expensive one. Damn, that mom's hell entitled. Well, anyway, on to the next story. Crazy lady accuses me of kidnapping my stepson and tries to kidnap him from me. So this happened about a week ago, and honestly I'm still fuming from this. I'm not sure if this belongs in the subreddit, but here goes. First, a little backstory. I'm a mixed ethnicity individual. I've been confused for many races over the course of my 29 years on this planet, but I'm literally Caucasian and African American. Usually it can be figured out, but the difference with me is my father is Caucasian, so therefore my hair is straight. I'm originally from Texas, and I'm usually confused for being Mexican, but now I live in Massachusetts, and I've never had an issue with anyone confused about my race, until this day. Also, I am married to a Caucasian woman who had a child before we were married. His father is not in his life as much, and I took the responsibility because I love this woman and I love this little boy as if he were my own. He is 4 now, and I've been in his life since he was 1. Anyways, on to the story. My wife needed a few things from the grocery store, and she needed to run a few more errands. And usually she just goes and knocks things out herself because I'm asleep. I work nights, but this particular day I happened to be awake, and I offered to go for her. She works hard and does a lot, so I definitely felt it was necessary to do something for her so she could relax for the day. I took my son with me so she could rest up and just take it easy, and gave me time to spend with my son for some bonding. We completed all of the errands, which went smoothly, and then headed to the grocery store to finish up our day. My son, being a typical 4-year-old, was full of energy running ahead of me, laughing and speaking to everyone he comes across, which I generally don't mind as long as he doesn't hit anyone and stays within eye view. As I'm making my way down an aisle looking for canned corn, my son jogs to the end of it when an older lady is entering it at the other end. My son, being the sweet social butterfly he is, approached, exclaims and excited, "Hi, me Four and me Ryan." Bless his little heart. The lady looked down and said, "Hello there, you should be running around unattended. Let's go find your parents." I didn't think anything of her statement because I assumed she just hadn't seen me. "Ryan, come back here, bud, please." He excitedly runs back towards me and starts running in circles because, he's 4. I'm still searching the shelves as the lady walks past me and stops behind me. Again, I think nothing of it because it's a grocery store and you have to share the aisles. I turn my basket around and start to walk towards the front cash register when this lady literally blocks my path. I say excuse me and try to walk around her, and she moves her cart in front of me again. I honestly thought she was just getting confused and said excuse me once more and tried one more time to go around, and she just blocks my path. The following conversation ensues. Sorry about that, we'll get out of your way."
"Oh, I don't think so. You're not going anywhere with that child."
"You mean my son?"
"That's not your child. He's white, and you're Mexican. You probably didn't even know his name until he said it to me."
"Sure, whatever, lady. Can you just move? My wife is home and anxiously waiting for us."
"Stop your lies. We're not taking him anywhere, you pervert."
This whole time, my son is standing close to me, holding my leg, because he was honestly getting scared, and I was getting angry, because I hadn't had much sleep, and I have a short fuse anyway. "Thanks, Dad." As you can see, he's standing close to me because he trusts me, and you're scaring him. So how about you buzz off?
"No, he's scared because of you. He just doesn't know how to express it yet."
She looks at my son.
"Now come on, sweetie. I'm here to rescue you. Come with me."
Thankfully, my son was able to communicate that he wasn't going anywhere with her. But she was having none of it. She literally grabbed my son and began to run. It caught me off guard because I honestly could not fathom what was actually happening. My son starts screaming loudly because he was so scared. And the lady is like,
"Don't worry, sweetie. He won't hurt you. I promise."
Suddenly, I snap back into reality and begin to chase after this crazy witch. While running through the store, I yell for people to stop her, and that she's kidnapping my son, and thankfully a worker stops her before she makes it to the exit.
"Why are you stopping me? This Mexican here is trying to kidnap my grandson."
My son is literally bawling his eyes out, and is extending his arms out, calling for me. The lady was relentless and would not let go of my son, even after he slaps her face multiple times. I laughed a little bit, not gonna lie. At this point, a manager shows up and asks what's going on. The lady spoke before me.
"This pervert is trying to kidnap my grandson, and I was just trying to escape."
"That's my son, you freaking psycho. Now let him go." And the manager didn't know what to believe. I don't blame him. He was caught in a weird situation. So I pulled out my phone and showed him pictures of me and my son that dated a year or so back as proof. The lady still wasn't giving up, and accused me of faking them. Like, how would you do that exactly? I'll never know, but whatever. Sadly, there were two other ladies taking the psycho side and saying I was attempting to kidnap my own son because there was no way we were family because of our different skin tones. One even called the police, which I was actually happy about because I knew they'd be able to review the security cameras. Even still, I called my wife to see if she could come to the store to get this situation cleared up quicker. As soon as I told her what was going on, she zoomed to the store. She got there in about the same time as the police. The crazy ladies were giving their statements to the cops when my wife walked in. As soon as she walked in, my son goes, "Mama, help!" My wife is a true mama bear, and she immediately flew into a rage when she saw this lady holding my son. "Let him go, now!"
Sorry, sweetie. I was just trying to protect him from this pervert over here. Yeah, we saw him trying to kidnap him, but this lady saved him.
The cop looks at the lady and is confused. "I thought this was your grandson." "I have no idea who that lady is," says my wife. She then takes out her phone and shows the officer a picture of my mother-in-law.
Okay, look, I'm sorry. He's not my grandson, but I was only trying to protect him from this dirty pervert over here. Yeah, I witnessed the whole thing. He snatched the child and tried to run away with him, but this lady stopped it. Yeah, I saw it too. He needs to be arrested. And you, pointing to my wife, should be thankful that this lady was here to save your son, because you obviously just let him loose wherever.
My wife said, "Who are you talking about again?" And all three crazy ladies pointed at me. "Oh, you mean my husband," says the wife.
Husband?
"Yeah, who do you think called me and got me here so fast?" said my wife. I presented my ID to the officer and the manager, and my wife did the same. We all each showed pictures of us on our phones to prove we really were a family. The cop nodded in approval and handed us our phones back, and jotted down a few notes. The three ladies, for some reason, still kept trying to say that this was all fake, and my wife was in on the kidnapping, and said we all need to be arrested. My wife lost it at this point and let off some colorful words that I won't repeat here, but she definitely got her point across. Then the nail in the coffin came for the psycho trio. The officer turns to the manager and asks, "Sir, do the cameras work here?" "Yes, we have them inside and out." "Okay, let's go review." The three ladies' faces went pale, like ghostly pale. The officer reviewed the outside camera as I pulled into the parking lot and saw me take my son out of my car, and then as I went up and down the aisles. And most importantly, the instant the woman snatched up my son and began to run. Upon his return, he asks, "Would you like to press charges?" And Lady 1 says,
Yes, I would.
And officer says, "Why would I be asking you that question? Shut your mouth and sit down." And then he turns to me and repeats the question, and I say absolutely. Lady 1 was charged with attempted kidnapping, false imprisonment, providing a false police report, and child endangerment. The other two were charged with filing a false police report as well. And to make matters worse for Lady 1, my son bruises easily, and she left some terrible spots on him from where she was grasping him. But he's fine. They added a charge of child abuse to her rap sheet. I have court later this year, but I'm not sure when because of COVID. The officer will be following up with me in a few weeks. Sorry for the length. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed these stories. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Maybe even hit the notification bell. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your mother or father. Maybe I'll fuck them though. Anyway, I'll see you later.